Go. All right.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Team 13's Shadow on the Wall.
Yeah, we are Team 13. We've made Shadow on the Wall as our final product. It's a PS1 horror puzzle exploration experience.
That was Tijmen, our lead character designer and animator. Um, I am Jacqueline. I've done most of the level geometry for the main hub areas and of code stuff, sort of general things. I have no style. I have no grace. This Kong has a funny face. Emil?
Yes, I'm Emil. I mostly did some of the coding together with David, who is with us in spirit today.
Yeah, he is here, but he has a sore throat because of sickness, so you won't be hearing him much.
And Sophie?
Okay. Yeah, I'm Sophie. I've worked on the pre-production stages together with everyone during hours and hours of discussion and creative madness. I also took care of the soundtrack.
And also the voice of reason, who told the team when things were getting too ambitious, and that ended up being really important because this is an ambitious project. We worked on this for many hours with many curse words at various aspects of game design and especially of Unity and the Cinemachine camera system. Um, but after a lot of bug fixing, after a lot of teamwork and a lot of talking together in meetings and also just together working on the game,
And
um,
reflecting on some playtesting done
and
by friends and TAs.
We have made this, and
we have
so
made
the
this product.
the the area that you're seeing there is the hub area. Right now, we're in this sort of hub area. The game we've made is about this protagonist revisiting their childhood home and encountering their memories of trauma regarding it in the form of VHS cassettes, which we present two paths where people can sort of approach their trauma. One is to try to destroy these memories and could be argued dissociate or whatnot, or lingering on them, getting lost in the past, which we represent with the TV, the other one with the furnace, which were two of those paths you can see to the sides. There is also a third ending, which is if you walk out of the house after collecting at least one tape, and that represents sort of a third option, which is you walk away from these spaces after taking what you can, and is kind of presented as the good ending where you don't die, but that's very much up to interpretation as
Spoilers.
you watch this game. That's
Yeah,
a spoiler.
I think that nicely. I think that nicely connects to the genres we went for,
Yeah.
namely puzzle and exploration. Puzzle is quite on the nose in the sense that the player has to solve three puzzles: a hide and seek game, which you're seeing on screen now, a padlock puzzle where they have to decipher a code, and thirdly, a sort of mirror maze in their childhood bedroom.
Yeah.
And then, as for the exploration part, well, you are exploring both a story and a space,
Yeah.
a house, and its
Yeah.
distorted geometry. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
honestly, quite beautiful scenery, which Tijmen and Jacqueline and well, the whole team has put their heart and soul into.
Absolutely. And so you can see some of the elements of our aesthetic style. We've settled on using these sort of fixed cameras to create tableaus, building composition and nice framing, things like that. There's a very nice one here with this treehouse where we're looking through a hollowed out log, I think, and various other places where we use the camera to create a sense of tension. As well, we've kind of gone for a sort of surreal look, evoking games that use this sort of distorted PS1 style to an effect, whether that's actual PS1 games like the original Silent Hill or something like Anatomy, which was a big influence on our project.
Yeah.
And we sort of use this glitch core distorted element, especially with a very stark lighting or dreamlike logic, like this sort of fog effect or very trippy camera movements that evoke an unreal space. to sort of get this feeling of an uncomfortable, alienating space.
This almost
sort of
incomprehensible feeling that we think actually fits really well with the theme of traumatic event that this protagonist is processing in this.
It's also our intended player experience is to feel kind of a little bit uncomfortable.
Yeah. And
But
speaking of player experience, player experience, we of course had to sort of visualize the tension curve we were going for, which Tijmen can put up on screen.
Yes. I hope the static doesn't take me. But here it is. Here is the tension curve that we decided on. You see that there's 3 peaks, and that coincides with the static effect that we've added to the screen, encroaching in on the player and making them feel quite literally claustrophobic, as the static incomprehension of it all encircles them, and basically, that is the main threat in this game. This feeling that
every
inches
time
ever closer.
Yeah. And
every time you try to solve a puzzle, there's a timer going, rolling, which is represented by the static, and when that timer runs out, it's game over, unless you, of course, decide to try again.
Yeah, and so yes, that is the main tension that we're using to kind of push the player in sort of a conflict is the race against time, trying to understand and figure out these environments, and collecting the tapes resets them and returns them here to this hub area to take another one, which is our main game loop, is going to the puzzle rooms through some weird geometry, solving a puzzle, and experiencing the mysterious aesthetics and vibe of it all, then coming back to the hub area, turning it into the furnace or the TV, like we just saw, then going and doing it again until they die or they escape.
And that is up to the player. Like with these,
it's now. I think it's then a nice point to talk about three examples of important design decisions we made, starting with 3 different endings. We've already touched upon it, but we decided to incorporate 3 endings after initially just wanting to offer 1 playthrough, because we wanted to highlight the fact that highlight the fact that there's different ways of dealing with trauma, and sometimes your only or your best option perhaps is walking away.
Yeah. And so we also wanted that because it is a relatively linear experience, and so these player choices offer some degree of expression and how you approach this replayability. Here is also another example of some of the design decisions. We use these nice long corridors to sort of put you in the headspace, because this is very much about mood, more so than something like an action game. So most of the focus of the design has been on how to create these uncomfortable moods. This with music, you can hear the stellar sound work from our sound designer, Sophie, in the background here. This hallway I have built up and uses glitching effects and very bizarre, impossible geometry to get that mood across. And coming up into the next room, we have one of the puzzles, and so maybe Tijmen, you can talk about some of the puzzle design.
Yes.
I think in terms of the time we've got left, we need to discuss both the player experience, whether we think we achieved our goal, how we assessed that.
So that is based on what we have shown our playtesters. Generally, they have come back with comments of feeling very creeped out, which is exactly what we are going for. We would love to, have as many people played as we can, and see that it goes over the way that we intended in this creepy, reflective way, and that seems to have been the case.
We also kind of want the player to be able to experience some just weird, cool-looking environments, kind of like a Yumi Nikki sort of thing, where it's got this weird, surreal kind of horror tone, but ultimately it's not really a game that was designed to scare you, but more we want the player to think, damn, that's like cool and weird, and I feel very strange looking at these environments and looking at these scenes, this music and all of that.
And, as we collect this third tape, or well, the second tape in this playthrough, yeah, we want to thank you very much for your time. Thank you for playing. We've had so much fun making this project. We've learned so much. So many hours in this project.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's it. I think that's it,
Yeah.
guys.
So thank you all. Bye-bye.
Happy New Year!